Hey everyone, so this is going to be a probability equation question for GCSE maths. Let's get into the question. So question 1 says there are 4 red counters and X blue counters in the bag. 2 counters are removed from the bag at random. The probability that both the counters taken are blue is 1/3. Work out the value of X. So let's first work out the total number of counters in the bag. We know there's 4 red and there's X blue counters. So the total number of counters in the bag is going to be 4 plus X. And the next thing we're going to want to do is build this probability tree diagram. So this gives us the probability of outcomes for pulling a red and then a blue counter, or blue then blue, or red then red. It shows us the probability for every outcome. So for example, I'll explain the top line. So the probability, the P, that's just a starting point. I put that in there for probability. Let's follow the line that goes from P to red to red. First, let's look at the probability from P to R, and it's going to be 4 over 4 plus X. Why is it that? Well, there's 4 red counters in the bag, and there's 4 plus X counters in total, so the probability of pulling a red counter is 4 over 4 plus X. Next, we're going to continue on this line, so R to R. Now, the probability of pulling a second red is going to be 3 over 3 plus X. Why is that? Well, we've taken 1 out already, so we're going to have 3 on the top because there's 3 red counters kept in the bag. And then on the bottom, there's going to be 3 plus X because there's 1 less counter in the bag overall. So we have the probability of pulling a red counter and then the probability of pulling another red counter in a row. And if you want to work out that joint probability, you just multiply both the probabilities together. So let's go to the bottom line, the blue, because that's the one we're going to be working with for this question, because they tell us that the probability of pulling a blue and then a blue is equal to 1/3. That's why I put the 1/3 in there. So if we follow this probability tree diagram for blue then blue, we're going to get ourselves an equation that we know is equal to 1/3. And from there we can work out the value of X. So just quickly, the probability of grabbing a blue counter off the bat is going to be X over 4 plus X. Because there's X blue counters in the bag, and the total number of counters in the bag is 4 plus X, so that's X over 4 plus X. Then the probability of pulling another blue counter is X minus 1, because there's 1 less blue counter in the bag, so that's the value on top. That's how many blues are left in the bag. And on the bottom we have 3 plus X because there's just 1 less counter overall. So we can times these two together and put them equal to 1 over 3, and that will give us an equation to work out X. All I've done here is taken the probability of pulling 2 blues, so we're going to times those two probabilities together, and we've been told it equals 1/3. If you're not sure how I've got to that point, just let me know and I'll try to explain it further in the comment section. So as I said before, we're using this part of the tree diagram. We're going to times these two together and put that equal to this. And that's going to give us this. I will clean it up a little bit, make it look a bit prettier. So we've got X over 4 plus X times X minus 1 over 3 plus X equaling 1/3. Just cleaning this up a little bit, we've got the X times X minus 1 over 4 plus X times 3 plus X equaling 1/3. Now from here we can times both sides with what is on the bottom to get everything on the top. So we times both sides by 3. That will give us a 3 on the left and it will cancel out on the right. Then we times both sides by 4 plus X and 3 plus X, and that will give us that on the right hand side, and on the left hand side it cancels out off the bottom. So from here we're going to times everything out a little bit. So that's going to give us 3x squared minus 3x equaling x squared plus 7x plus 12. So I've just moved that same line to the top here. Let's simplify a bit by doing a bit of subtracting and adding. So we're going to get 2x squared minus 10x minus 12 is equal to 0. And these all have a factor of 2, so we can divide by 2. So that's going to give us x squared minus 5x minus 6. Now all we have to do is solve this quadratic function when it's equal to 0, and we will work out the value of x needed. So let's first solve this quadratic function. We can factorize it. If you don't know how to factorize, there should be a video on my channel. I will leave it linked down below if there is. And if there isn't one on my channel, you can find them on YouTube really easily. So just Google how to factorize a quadratic equation. So now we've factorized it, we have x minus 6 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. Well, we know this holds when x is equal to 6, because 6 minus 6 is 0. And the same for when x is minus 1. So we're going to get two values of x equaling 6 and x equaling minus 1. There can't be negative counters in the bag, so it's not going to be minus 1. So the answer is going to be 6. So I appreciate this is a lot to take in, but it's really just quite straightforward if you've done every component before. So for example, if you understand probability tree diagrams and you understand how to factorize a quadratic, you're just combining all that information together. And obviously you're working with an unknown, which is a bit more complicated. But I would say if you're struggling with this topic, just do a couple more questions, try and find some questions online and you can practice this method. And again, if you have any comments or questions, just drop them down below. Hope the video helped and best of luck with your maths.